truth, the absolute truth, according to everything, is embodied in film. And there is a film called Colossus, the Forbin Project. And in the film, this guy Forbin has created an artificial intelligent weapon system that controls all nuclear weapons that the United States has. It turns out the Russians have done the same thing. So, anyway, these two machines start talking together and they become one. They join, they like morph together. Anyway, and then they control everything. They control the entire planet, Earth. Now, let's say there's an element of truth to that. Let's say the United States had a small problem in December of 1945 and fell victim to something. Anyway, and then let's say Senator Obama in 2005 had a small problem with a Luger and a fireball. That ain't that funny, is it? Well, I'm recounting history. Now let's suppose that there are people called the Blue Wolf Tribe that really do exist as Time Lords, and they exist at the end of time itself. In fact, they control time. They control space. They control everything. Yeah, they're like that Q in the Star Trek series. Anyway, now Russians are trying to get into this Ukrainian base, according to reports I just seen. Fighting has resulted in casualties. Russians don't do anything without cause. So let's run a scenario. Let's say the Gold Code, that is the code that controls the launch of nuclear weapons in the United States, was compromised in 2009 by a sort of a small problem with a judge. Evidently forgot the words for the Constitution. Roberts, his name was. It's like my friend Bob that works at Starbucks. He goes to Minnesota periodically and plans attacks against the United States. He's a terrorist. Do you believe that? Well, of course it has to be true. Otherwise, one of those apartments in Minnesota blew up. So anyway, let's pretend all this is true. And let's say the gold code, that is the biscuit the president has, the real president now, President Obama has, was compromised on January 20th, 2009 by nefarious elements. Right, let's pretend that's true. And let's say terrorists, well, people, sort of like people, have gotten elements of the code and they can launch nuclear weapons when they get the right sequence. All right, well, we're going back to the film now, Colossus, the Forbin Project. Anyway, the United States tried to systematically deactivate the ICBMs, but the problem is the computer, Colossus, discovered it and punished them by launching weapons and blowing up big-ass cities. Now, let's say the Ukrainians are pissed off about Russia and they want to punish Russia. They want to nuke them. Yeah, they want to nuke them. They want to put a nuke up their ass. Now, let's say they have, well, computer scientists in this base in the Ukraine that the Russians have figured out is being used. They've been trained and they're being used to break down the firewall that separates, like John Doe from the launch codes, and thus they can launch a missile, an American missile, going straight over to Moscow, and boom, Moscow's destroyed. It's like in that movie Failsafe. Anyway, it all fails. So the Russians don't want that to happen, so they're trying to break in. It's also like that movie Dr. Strangelove, you know, and Ripper. But anyway, let's say this is true. If that's true, You, the leadership of the United States of America, should help the Russians get past the fucking security apparatus and get in that fucking base and stop those motherfuckers before they blow up the fucking city of Moscow, cause World War III. I mean, no shit. I mean, help the motherfuckers. Don't fucking lay back and sit around and say, well, we don't know. I know the rhetoric is one thing, but the reality is another thing. Anyway, tell Bear I love him and he's so pretty. Very, very svelte. Yeah, I sent him a letter too. Anyway, this is Operations Officer Windfall. I have only one thing: the universal sign of respect amongst all operations officers with the CIA. Fuck you.